Hello, my name is Karen Munnelly, and I have created a video for my redesign activity report. I am currently an instructor on the new generation craft butchery apprenticeship, and I'm going to share with you my experience implementing UDL into one of the module assessments and the feedback I received from students. What I'm going to go through today in my redesign activity report is reflecting on my own teaching and learning practice, the changes I have made to my teaching and learning practice, how UDL has impacted my teaching and the learnings of apprentices, and how I plan to use UDL in the future. I myself come from industry. I was the technical manager for the Craft Butchers Association for 7 years. Part of that role was to train butchers in food safety. I would go to a shop, train for 2 hours. The training would be presentation only. After that, I would give an informal open exam and leave. I was teaching, but were they really learning? I was sent on a train the trainer course shortly after accepting the role as lead instructor for the butchery apprenticeship program. The course was given with presentation and notes, and there was a few icebreaker games added in throughout for fun. From that course, I was made aware that seeing, hearing, and doing was a great way for adults to learn. That presentation should be well structured and legible, and the teacher should be knowledgeable and confident. I brought my learnings to my teaching practice and made my lessons more fun, presentations less wordy, and added in e-learning videos and quizzes. I remember one of the apprentices telling me that he learns better from videos and quizzes. What I know now is I should have taken that information on board and added more of that content into my teaching. Although I have always been taught didactically, I myself am a visual learner. I like to be told, instructed, and shown what to do. When I'm asked to read something, I may read it 3 times before my brain absorbs the information. And when asked to do a task, I would prefer to be shown first. I have often found myself on courses where the class has been instructed to do something and peers know exactly what to do straight away, and I'm looking around to see what they are doing before I make a start. So I understand firsthand how much UDL is needed in a classroom, and I am happy the course has given me the starting tools to redesign teaching and learning. I am passionate about UDL because I want to break down any barrier my apprentices have to learning by using the principles of UDL and giving them autonomy to find what is the best way that they learn. Now I'm going to talk about the changes I have made. Before I start though, I think it's important to give you a profile of my learners. So I have taught students from 17 to early 30s. They have different educational backgrounds. Some have done the junior cert, some the leaving cert, some have gone to higher education, and some have done some college courses. They may have English as their second language. Some have dyspraxia, dyslexia, ADHD, anxiety, some other mental health issues. Some are young parents. What I want to do is reduce any barriers to their learning. As you can see in this picture, you have on the left side 2 unenthusiastic students that have come in to do some work. This is what normally comes through my door in the butchery program on their first day, because they don't really have a good experience in school. So what I hope to do is turn these guys on the left into this happy chap on the right. Using UDL throughout my teaching, I know will help me to achieve this. There is no typical student, so to successfully teach to all students, we have to introduce greater flexibility into our teaching and learning practice, using multiple means of engagement, the why of learning, multiple means of representation, the what of learning, and the multiple means of action expression. the how of learning. Redesigning the assessment. The two tables you see there I have taken from the course's validation manual. The module is the second module of the course, and it's the health and safety and food safety and hygiene module. It is broken up into two continuous assessments worth 40% each and two theory exams worth 10% each. They're broken up because health and safety and food safety are two different topics, and they can be confused with apprentices. Apprentices can, confuse the two of them. So when I'm looking at assessments here, what I did was I looked at the food safety continuous assessment first. And what I did was I looked at learning outcome 1, learning outcome 4, and learning outcome 5 below. So these are the minimum intended module learning outcomes for the course. And if I was able to basically take these minimum intended module learning outcomes and put them into an assessment, what would that look like? So I decided I'd make a task book. So the apprentice could take the learnings from the theory that they do and bring it back to the shop and practically carry out those tasks. So they're learning as they're doing, instead of just being in class, listening to theory all week, then sent home with a project to do by themselves worth 40%, and on the 5th day that they're with me, an exam. So I wanted to take the stress of having to learn all this information after 5 days, and then basically being sent back to their jobs to do a project, and that some find quite difficult. So the task book that I came up with includes the minimum intended module learning outcomes for this course. The apprentice has 5 weeks to complete this task book. The task book is uploaded to Moodle. They can access that 24/7. It is also sent to their email, and they are able to print off in centre, or if they had a printer at home, they could do that at home either. So whichever way they want to do it, whether they want to use technology to fill in the task sheet or they want to print it out and fill it in. The evidence that the apprentice must show that they've done the task book can be through documented evidence signed off by their mentor. It can be a video or a photograph. This practical assessment is suited to the butchery apprentices as they are practical learners. They learn on the job. That's how best that they learn. The evidence that the apprentice has carried out these tasks is does not just have to be a photo, video, or a document. If the apprentice comes up with some creative way to show evidence that they have carried out these tasks, that will also be accepted. Here you can see the task book. So I have the task here, it's the first column. So this is just a screenshot of the task book. The first one is the apprentice must maintain a high standard of personal hygiene. And it basically says what the apprentice should do. So keep hair neat and tidy and covered in the presence of food, wear suitable clean protective clothing, keep fingernails short, clean and free of nail varnish, refrain from wearing inappropriate jewellery, refrain from wearing excessive perfume, deodorant, aftershave, and makeup, keep cut sores and grazes covered with clean, conspicuous coloured waterproof dressing. When using gloves, use in a hygienic manner as per relevant standard. And then what the employer has to do, or the mentor, would be to talk talk to the apprentice about established rules referring to good personal hygiene practice, provide an adequately stocked first aid cabinet, make sure it's checked regularly. Contents of first aid cabinet should include coloured waterproof dressings, and provide gloves. So it's just some supporting evidence for the apprentice, what they have to do, and also for the employer. And that's right the way down through the 12 different tasks that they have to do. Now, the type of evidence taken. So the apprentice can be very creative in his way that he wants to show evidence. But again, it can be something like a document, photo, video, and if they think of something creative to show this evidence, that he just has to basically say that and also provide it. And then the mentor and apprentice basically must sign and date to make sure that the work is done. Here is an example of some evidence supplied by the apprentice. This is Laura, and she has sent over some photo evidence with her task sheet. So for student feedback, I chose SurveyMonkey. I chose it was the best way to get student feedback, as it is a link that is sent to their emails and they can access it through their laptops or their mobile phones. So 5 of my students answered the survey, which was great achievement because it is hard for them to get them to do these surveys when they're not in class. So the first question that was asked of them was, do you find the current food safety assessment difficult? 80% of them said no. And I feel that that is down to the UDL that has been implemented into the module theory. So there has been more interaction, um, uh, more engagement peer to peer. There has been more quizzes, more videos, more e-learning all built into the module, and the module has been broken down very simply. So that's basically off the back of what I have learned during this course. Do you prefer to do assessments on your own time? So again, 80% of them said yes. 80% of them said no, and 20% said yes. So you can see here that the majority don't prefer to do their assessments on their own time. The third question posed them was, would you prefer to do your assessments on the job? And 100% of them did say yes. So they do prefer to be doing their work while they're on the job. So that basically they're learning on the job, and also they have that interaction with their mentor. So their mentor then has to take ownership as well to be helping the apprentice and giving the apprentice time. So it puts the responsibility there onto the mentor as well to do work with the apprentice. And do you find the written theory exam stressful? And 100% of them did say yes, which wasn't a surprise to me, as they are practical people. They want to do a practical job, and they probably found exam stressful when they were in school. I added in the slide as I just wanted to show that we had added in a new feedback sheet into Moodle, module feedback. And here you can see that the module health and safety, basically asking the student, how difficult it was, and he said fairly easy. And again, you can see there's only one response on them. So by doing SurveyMonkey, I knew I'd get a better response than we have done on Moodle. And what did you like about the course? So the depth of detail of the food safety. So if something is being done wrong, I know I now have the knowledge and confidence to help fix it. And what did you dislike? The only thing I disliked was it being online, but Karen did an amazing job of keeping us engaged and making it interesting. So that I put that in just as, I suppose, a backup to the first question where it was asked, was the current assessment difficult? And 80% of them said that it was not difficult. And I think that's down to just the UDL that's been built now into the module. And you can see here, just students are happy. So hi Karen, here's my reflective journal. So basically, it's the diary at the end of every day that they have to fill in for me. So thank you very much for everything this week. It was informative and enjoyable. So, if a student is enjoying their learning experience, they will learn more. Here's another one. Hi, Karen. I have attached a copy of my reflective journal. Thanks again for making the module easy and enjoyable. So you can see that the student is finding the module enjoyable. So my plans for the future with UDL in mind. So I want to bring the principles of UDL to all the modules and learning materials in the new generation craft butchery apprenticeship. I want to look at the assessments and see how they can improve to support learners and break down barriers to learning. I want to collect more feedback after each module to make sure there's continuous improvement throughout the module. And also to make sure that the student is learning from what we're teaching them, and send instructors on UDL training course. So the instructors, I'm the lead instructor at the moment, and there are 3 different butchery instructors, practical butchery instructors, and they do presentations and training themselves, the theory part of their practical training. So to send them on a UDL training course will be highly beneficial to the course and the learners. So to finish up then, basically what I had done today was I reflected on my own teaching and learning practice. I've talked about the changes I have made to my teaching and learning practice with regard to UDL. I talked about how UDL has impacted my teaching and learning and the learnings of the apprentices, and what I plan to do with UDL in the future, how I plan to use UDL in the future. I just want to thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you have a good day. Thank you very much.